Hello everyone and welcome back to another DrAce video. Today we're going to be continuing our Moto2 career mode, and it is time for one of my favourite circuits. It is the Spanish GP of Jerez. However, we are going to be dipping our toes in the wet conditions for the very first time in Moto2. But alas, we have good news because we are starting from pole position. Back on the front row once again in a qualifying which we absolutely decimated the competition. But that was the dry. How do we cope now in the wet? Let's find out. So here we are then, wet weather jacket on. Wait for the red lights to disappear and away we go. So today this is going to be an interesting one because I have absolutely no idea how we're going to fare in the wet conditions. We're off to a good start nonetheless, so we're already up by 0.3 of a second. Whole shot goes to us, but will it last? I really don't know how well the AI is going to be in these wet conditions. In the qualifying, they didn't stand a chance. In the practice, they didn't stand a chance. But that was then, and this is now. What a start already, though, nonetheless. I've got to say, I'm actually a little bit surprised at this. I thought I would probably get beaten going into turn one. A little bit wide there for the Cito Pons corner. Does that invite Alonso Lopez through? Ever so slightly. He does pick me up mid-corner, does Lopez, but I think we should have enough to outbrake him going into turn 6 for the Pedrosa corner. Where is he? He's on the inside. Surely he is. I can't turn in. Wide going into turn 6. Alonso Lopez takes over at the front. Jake Dixon's in second. And there is Fermin Aldeguer taking advantage of us, going wide into the Pedrosa corner. So, well then, it's down to 4th for us right now. I've got to try and get used to these wet weather conditions pronto, unless the AI will start to disappear from us. Don't forget, guys, AI is on 120% difficulty. That has not changed all season long, and it won't change if the racing stays competitive as it's been so far. As my God, Fermin Aldeguer, Jake Dixon, why is everyone going so slow? Was the yellow flags out or something? Oh my God, Lopez, what is going on? Well, I've seen this happen before on lap number 1, so let's let them through and let's see if it fixes itself. Wow, they were really slow there. They're still actually quite slow coming out of the Lorenzo corner. That was really peculiar. I hope they don't do that again, otherwise this should be a pretty easy Grand Prix. So we go wide into turn 1, outbraking ourselves again. Not quite the cleanest of race for myself so far as Fermin Aldeguer dives up on the inside. We drop down to 4th place. Oh, back up on the inside of Fermin though. Nicely done to take 3rd place yet again in the 3rd corner. So I'm a little bit concerned with the way they've just responded to that particular corner. I have noticed that happen before in previous MotoGP games, and it's usually only on the first lap. Prime example being Catalonia's turn 3. In the start of those videos in the career mode, I noticed they touch the apex for turn 3, sit the bike up vertically, and then continue, and they wouldn't do it again. So let's see what happens. Oh my God, I've completely outbraked myself. I'm going to hit Alonso Lopez. Oh, did I get a penalty for that? I mean, I should do. That was just diabolical. I'm so not used to these wet weather conditions. I was absolutely nailing it in the dry. So now that we've got the wet for the first time, I'm just going to remember we've got to brake a bit earlier and a little bit more relaxed. Surprisingly, no penalty was given or even a warning to us right now, so okay, I guess we'll move on from that. Good to see Jake Dixon's leading nonetheless, so at least 1 point. My sacrifice has not been in vain. Our Jake Dixon, our British rider, leading at the front. Yeah, the AI is struggling so much in that corner. What is that? I've picked up a track limit warning now. They can't brake there that early, and I'm under investigation now for making contact. That's not going to go well, but look at that for a move. Up on the inside of Lopez. Taken over into turn 13. Now I'm expecting, yes, there it is. I knew that would come. I don't know why we deserve a warning for that when the AI braked so early for the right-handers there. I hope they don't do that every lap, otherwise this could be a very easy Grand Prix. I really don't want them to do that. I'd rather be challenged than to have them brake so early into the right-handers for Crivier and Ferrari. Just seems completely unnecessary to do that. But Jake Dixon's got the lead, but for how much longer? As I'm thinking of a lunge here. Probably can't get through here, but going into the Pedrosa corner, providing we brake early this time, we might be able to get through on Dixon. So onto the power. With engine brake down to 2, that's usually my setup now for Moto 2. If you're having any difficulties with Moto 2, I highly recommend you change the engine brake setting to the lower value, as it does give the bike a little bit more feeling. I'd highly recommend if you haven't tried that already. So we found a second compared to the previous lap. Don't forget that last lap we did clatter into both Dixon and Lopez. And this is the difference maker. If Dixon goes slow into Ferrari and Crivier, then I imagine we're already going to pass them. And I also believe that our lap time is going to absolutely decimate Jake's. Oh, a third track limit warning. Well, I think I'll be taking a long lap penalty in this one here today. I don't think I can escape that now after being 3 track limit. Whoa, look how slow Dixon's going. Come on. No, that's just not going to work for me. I can't sit behind him in those corners. I'm either going to bump into them and crash, or bump into them and receive penalties. I can't afford to do that, so I'm sorry, but we've got to get the hurry on and get away from these. I don't think we're going to get a close battle here today, you know. Cross the line, even with trying to avoid Jake Dixon there, we set a lap time, which was quite possibly 9/10 to a second quicker than my compatriot Dixon in second. That's not good enough. The 120% AI need to improve. They've been great so far. Qatar was great, very challenging. Portimao was awesome, really tough competition towards the end of the video, as well as halfway through with Joe Roberts. And then in USA, they seem to have fumbled it towards the end. So 120% difficulty AI, the maximum of the game, not enough to really push us to the limits as of yet. Nice clean move from Dixon to get back on through. This offers an opportunity now to go through into the corner formerly known as DrAce. This is the Pedrosa corner, closing back in on the Grassini rider. Half a second loss compared to Dixon. So it's not a great lap time coming in. But I don't doubt we can get through him. But I don't want to be waiting for the Crivier corner, because that's where all the drama starts. That's where Dixon's going to go slow, and I'm probably going to hit him. Just cutting my nose off ever slightly there is Dixon. He has run it deep though, so it's time to go on through. Excuse me, coming through. We've got the lead. The 47 back at the top once again. Now let me remind you, this is our first season in Moto 2. This is our first race in the wet weather conditions, and everything and both of those things are going absolutely peachy. 1.2, we are now clear. Well, I think that's curtains then. I don't think the AI are going to catch us up now. This could be 13 laps of dominance across the line, another solid lap time, 1:48.6. Can we get it right into turn 1? Must confess, I'm surprised how aggressive you can be in the brakes in these wet conditions. I don't know whether to give credit to the bike, the tyres, or the new physics of MotoGP 24. It's certainly making wet weather riding easier than it ever has been. I wouldn't say it's a knock. I mean, I'd rather have more difficult, challenging feeling in the wet. But in MotoGP 23, the wet weather was just broken. The player would struggle so much, and the AI wouldn't. It wouldn't be a problem for the AI, but for the players, it was just almost impossible. So this is a welcome change. Just didn't want to be leading by such an advantage. And to be honest, I don't think... Yeah, without them slowing down to Crivier and Ferrari corner, I think it would be relatively even. So we could have had a proper cracking race here today. But now I'm a bit concerned. Objective was to defeat Dennis Onchu in battle here today, but I haven't seen the Turkish rider, and he's now 12.5 seconds behind. So it tells me we're very unlikely to see Dennis Onchu in this Grand Prix here today. Maybe at the end, maybe he'll find some speed. I don't know, I'm being hopeful at this point, but I very much doubt that is going to happen. So we bring on the power. It's another track limit warning. We are now 1 track limit warning away from a long lap penalty. I am half tempted just to go off the circuit again, just to get the long lap penalty and just to take it. That way it'll be done and dusted, I don't need to think about it for the rest of the race. But at the same time, the challenge could be now to try and avoid getting the long lap penalty for the next 10 laps or so. Because I definitely don't think anyone is going to catch us up. Biggest championship rival is Colin... excuse me, I was going to say Colin Via then. Obviously, I haven't seen Colin Via since Moto3. Celestino Vietti in 6th place. He's our biggest championship rival. Our championship is separated by just 7 points here on round 4. And I haven't seen him yet. He's there in 6th, and I'm kind of hoping for his sake that he gets a little bit closer towards the podium. No sign of Joe Roberts either. He's Ethan Guevara's teammate, who's in currently 5th place. He's having a good championship battle so far, so let's hope he finds himself up to the front. But onto the brakes. This bike is, yeah, it's beginning to feel really good. I'm feeling more confident upon the brakes now. Just getting the brakes a little bit earlier. But you're actually able to trail brake significantly more than I expected, if I'm quite honest with you. I really felt that you had to be extremely sensitive and gentle upon the brakes, but I'm actually going more or less similar to how I would, but just earlier, if that makes any sense. A bit wide there for the Angel Nieto corner. And we're now 1.6 seconds adrift from Jake Dixon. Now, I don't want to jinx my British friend, my compatriot, but this is a good race for Dixon so far. Out of the 3 Grand Prix I've recorded, Dixon has found the gravel. And he is not doing it yet, so this is a good sign. I'd love to win my first race here in Jerez in Moto2 with Dixon on the podium with me. That would be very special. And I can't even remember the last time we had a 1-2 for British riders in Moto2. Must have been a long time ago. And I don't think Sam Lowes and Dixon have shared the podium together, so it's going to be well before them two. And I don't think Danny Kemp made to the podium in Moto2 when Sam Lowes was at his best. So, yeah, I don't think that's happened anytime soon. Possibly Scott Redding and Sam Lowes, though, however. Maybe that happened. Not sure. If you know the answer to that question, let me know in the comments section down below. When was the last time in an intermediate class 2 riders from Britain finished on the podium together? Albeit a 1-2 or even a 2-3. So I've got my long lap penalty then. Let's get this done this lap or next. I don't know, I'm on a good lap here, you know. Maybe I won't do it on this one. I'll do it on the lap where I don't think I'm going to improve. But right now, 0.2 of a second is what we found up to the second split. This is looking positive so far. So I'm going to leave everything as is. And I know I mentioned this in a previous video as well, and I know there was some visceral reactions to the idea of reducing the power and letting the AI catch us up because we're disadvantaging ourselves. Now, I'm not against doing that, but I probably will just leave it for today's video. Try and win from the biggest margin possible, but the next time we do it, I'll reduce the power if it looks like we're going to dominate the Grand Prix. And then possibly for the next one after that, we'll decide what we want to do. I am quite aware that not everybody enjoys watching someone just dominate a Grand Prix, but on the same time, it's kind of fun to see the consistent dominance, that consistent lap times that are constantly getting improved, that's just proving how damn good they are. I'm not saying I'm doing that here today because I think the lap times are not actually that impressive. I've still got to get used to the wet weather conditions. But I know sometimes it is quite satisfying to watch a player that just churn out the lap times. I remember once spending time with Jackhammer and he was doing his MotoGP esports lap times, and I must confess it was a very therapeutic thing to watch. You could find yourself just sitting there and watching in awe for quite a while. So I do appreciate that some people like to watch me do that, and some on the other side would rather me take a disadvantage and keep things interesting. But we'll decide that in the future, no doubt. So out of the Cito Ponds corner then, our gap is steadily increasing to 4 seconds. That is a stellar job, if I do say so myself. 2.5 of a second, 3/10, 4/10 quicker, going into the Pedrosa corner. Really don't know if I should take this long lap penalty or not. I'm on a cracking lap here, so it'd be a shame to give this one up, but at the same time, I don't think why... I mean, yeah, I don't really think that we can't do these laps again, so there's no real bother if I don't do it on this lap or not. We're finding almost half a second on the delta there. Oh, we've run it a bit deep, but I think that should be fine as we get back on the power. Okay, maybe we do it on this lap after all then. And also at the same time, I don't know whether I'm going to muck it up. I haven't done a long lap penalty in the wet conditions since probably Moto 3. That was a long time ago. So let's just do it anyway, and let's see what lap time we actually lose here. How much time do we lose for braking late into the Lorenzo corner, taking the long lap penalty? Careful not to run it out too wide. We lost 1.5 seconds, so with the AI struggling so much into that couple of right-handers, I think we barely lost any time whatsoever. 49.7 was our lap time, so that was pretty much what they were doing earlier on. So we could probably do a long lap penalty every lap then. I guess that would be the trade-off to make this one interesting, but I'm keen to get back into those 47s that we were projected to do a moment ago. Ideally, I don't want to miss out by ending this video without getting into the increment of second that is the 147. And of course, 47 being a very special number for myself. So I do really want to get that time on the screen, which I desperately covet. Ooh, Sector 2, there is a yellow flag out. Whoever it is has rejoined on the circuit, and they have not ended, so no, they've not actually classed us out. And there on screen goes your subscribe button, so of course if you needed a reminder, if you haven't subscribed already, why not do that now, as we lead by a nice country mile at 4.5 tenths of a second quicker on this lap, would mean we are now 3 seconds faster or ahead of Fermin Aldeguer in second place. Each and every lap we're getting quicker. This is a great feeling. It's incredibly satisfying to get it right in Moto 2. Very much enjoying my time here with this game. MotoGP 24 has just been terrific. Also, for the ones who pay extra attention, I've stopped saying MotoGP 24 at the beginning of videos, by the way. How do we feel about that? A little bit of a change on the intro. Does anyone even notice these things, or is it just me? Anyway, out with the final... Oh, Dixon's gone! He didn't. Is he out, or is he just crashed? Oh, Jake! You didn't. You didn't do it again. Come on. That's 4 Grand Prix in a row out of 4 Grand Prix. That's taking the mick. Come on, Jake. That is bloody bonkers that he's crashed out 4 times. He's crashed out more times than I battled with Taio Furusato last season. Maybe not, but still. Ah, and I completely messed up my lap on this one. Now, this would have been a good lap to the long lap penalty on. I got into the 147s and I completely messed it up. I blame Jake. I'm not blaming anyone else but Mr. Dixon. I can't believe he's crashed out the 4th race in a row. That is diabolical. There's not many riders who can still do well after crashing out 4 times. The momentum must be rock bottom. That is a damn shame, that really is. Anyway, on to the brakes we go then for the right-hander for the Angel Nieto corner. I do hope I've been adding in some replays at the stage of the Grand Prix. If not, I'll be sure to do some towards the end. Plus, I have to actually record all those parts myself after I finish the race. So once I finish the race, I then spend another good chunk of time heading into the replay mode to find some good clips to show at the end when I start editing this video. A couple of changes as well, of course, transitions and whatnot, so a couple of subscribe buttons on the screen. I'll have to see if there's anything else I can add to the screens to make it a bit more interesting, but across the line we do drop back into the 48s. Not bad, all things considered. We did lose a lot of time on the first couple of sectors on the last lap, so I'm hoping we can improve upon that for the next couple. 2 tenths of a second found into the Michelin corner. Quick change of direction into turn 3. 1/10 of a second in the Delta, so we're eyeballing another good lap time here. All things considered, our first wet weather outing, our first wet weather odyssey, let's say, is going rather swimmingly, with all the pun intended. 1/10 of a second still to be found, with the Delta in our favour. Well, it's not very fast or short lap times here in Jerez, quite long actually, considering we have the wet conditions. Not as long as Kota in the dry, but it certainly adds to the difficulty of Jerez having this wet condition. And just a moment, if you don't mind, just to say big thank you to Sergio23 again. I mean, every time I look at those boots, the gloves, the protection, the helmet, it just looks great. I'm really pleased with how it all comes together and how it looks in this game right now. It just looks so good. He's done a stellar job with the designs. Of course, if you want to get your own design, check him out in the Discord server or alternatively his Instagram and drop him a message. He'll be sure to sort you out with a funky design that is bespoke to no one but yourself. So finishing up this lap then, lap 11 looks to be offering a new fastest lap for me. Coincidentally, the number 11 is the number I used for Superbike 22 game, and on lap 11 we're going to go back in to the 147s. Marvellous, a 147.502 for your championship leader and soon to be 3-time race winner in the intermediate class of Moto2. So already into Michelin Corner, we're back into the green, which always fills me with warmth and excitement, and I think in a track that is as damp as this, certainly is what's needed, so I don't see why we can't go for yet again another improved lap time. Can we do 2 in the bounce? I'd like to think we can, as Marcos Ramirez has just been given a track limit warning. The man for the OnlyFans American Racing team is currently occupying 5th, and behind him is not too far away is his teammate Alonso Lopez, of course changing teams via the way of the market transfers mode in MotoGP 24. A bit wide there for the Pedrosa corner, but it's okay. He only lost a marginal amount of time. We're still very much in the green. This could be another stellar lap time coming in here. Can we get into the lower echelon of the 147s rather? I don't want to be losing 10 seconds on this lap. Definitely not. As there goes the right-hander. This is the difficult right-hander of the track, really. Of course, go for the tight apex. Hit it beautifully. Come out of the corner with speed. And that sets you up nicely right there again on the right-hander. Marvellous. We do like to see it, and I think this could be a bit too wide, and we'll probably risk hitting the track limits. Now we've got it. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Just brake after the Estrella Galicia sign. Dive all the way down the gears to the left-hander for turn 13. Fire on the power, and you better believe this is going to be another improvement of lap time. It's a 147.353. Marvellous. With a capital M. Brilliant. There's absolutely nothing the competition can do right now. And to be honest, Jerez is a circuit that you don't want to give me an inch on. I do feel really, really comfortable and calm at a circuit like Jerez. I feel that one lap could feel the same as 20 laps. It would just be a case of just churning out the lap times, getting into that zone, and just cracking on. It's one of those circuits that I just really enjoy doing it on. There was a video, one of my last videos actually, on MotoGP 23, and that was one of the final videos I did, and it was Jorge Martin at a very drying, it was a wet circuit, and it was flag to flag, so we jumped onto the dry bike, and then we started churning up the lap times to catch up to the AI. And I think a good couple of laps before the end we ended up winning the race, and it was just a great video I really enjoyed making, and I think I'll look to doing more stuff like that in MotoGP 24 once the career mode has come to its conclusion. But now on, losing the front there, goodness me, the bike went then. Whoa, heck, wow, the front, and I got a track limit warning. Oh, damn it, the front disappeared on me there. We were inches away from losing the front and crashing out here in Jerez. In fact, now I think about it, Moto 3, I led the race here in Jerez by a country mile as well, and that was also one of those modes where I lost a bit of concentration and I crashed, and it was a very small, silly mistake, but it almost reached some big consequences. We almost got caught up towards the end of the video. Don't fancy doing that twice. So let's take that as a bit of a warning, and let's not do that again. Let's not scare the viewers, because if anyone's watching right now as their secondary monitor whilst they're playing their own game, it's going to scare them, and I don't want to do that. So if you're still watching and I've got your full attention, and I want to say a big thank you to you, but if you're playing something else at the same time, then that's not too bad after all, because of course we are dominating this one by quite a huge margin. Now, if you aren't watching, I'll give you a little update of the top 8. Myself leading the way by 6.5 seconds, almost 7. Fermin Aldeguer in second place, and your man in second place in the championship, Celestino Vietti in third. He is currently occupying third place, with Ethan Guevara fourth, Tony Arbolino fifth, Alonso Lopez sixth, Joe Roberts seventh, and Aaron Canet on board. The Boscoscura is in 8th place as of yet, and Jake Dixon crashed out earlier on, of course, from second place. And that was about 3 or 4 laps ago. Now, I hope I've showed you a good replay or two of the save a moment ago. That certainly had me on my toes. That's probably one of the best saves I've had in Moto2. Probably the only one I've had, to be honest. In Moto3, we had the terrific save in Silverstone, which then gave me a track limit warning, which then resulted in a lone lap penalty. But there pops up the join the Ace Academy Discord part on the screen. So of course, if you do want to join the DrAce Discord, head over to it now. Description is in the link is in the description down below, and you can join there for lots of MotoGP, World Superbike chat, and a lot more as well. I would like to say, just be polite in there and enjoy your time. We have had a few people who are very can be quite aggressive regarding their opinions, so if their opinions are absolutely awful and just completely downright disgusting, then probably best to keep it yourself. We don't want any quite horrific antagonising comments like we have had in the Discord server in the past. I get it that everyone's a fan of someone and maybe not fan of another, but just be careful the way we speak to people, of course. Now, of course, actually, I'm not forbidden from that myself. I can say a comment about a rider and I'm instantly labelled as a hater. I've been told I'm a Marquez hater many, many times, as I'm actually sitting here during this video wearing a Marc Marquez t-shirt. That has the 93 and the ant on it as well. Amazing how I can be a hater and to rep his merchandise as well. And in fact, speaking of merchandise, I really should get my own at some point. I did have a plan in place for merchandise, and I didn't really like the quality of what came out, so back to the drawing board. And of course, if you want to be involved with the DrAce Discord server, or myself, or even just the channel in general, if you want to be involved further, you can join the I've said it twice now, join the DrAce Pit Crew membership by hitting the join button on YouTube. But I think that's enough waffle for now, because we are approaching the final couple of laps. This is going to conclude lap number 15, and this lap time has not been very good, and I think probably for the fact my concentration has just dipped away ever so slightly as I got distracted talking about the Discord server. We are now 45 seconds clear from Dennis Eunchu in, I don't even know what position he's in, but he mustn't be in the points, because that is a massive advantage. Our goal today was to defeat Dennis Eunchu to claim top spot in the team. Why that wasn't already the top spot for us, I'll never know. As good as Dennis Eunchu is, he's not a Moto3 World Champion like we are. So, yeah, very strange that they picked Eunchu to be the top guy for the Calex team, for the Red Bull KTM IO. Don't know why, but I think we're proving our point that here on the penultimate lap of Jerez, we're 1 lap away from becoming a 3-time Moto2 race winner. That's not easy to do. It's also not easy to say, since I struggled and stuttered almost. As Marcos Ramirez has been given a long lap penalty. He's obviously strayed off the circuit just one too many times, has the Spaniard. Beat deep there for the Pedrosa corner, aren't we? These lap times aren't coming to us anymore. We're actually slowing down, so I don't think we'll get back into the 47s. And amazingly, we had more crashes in USA, in COTA, than we've had here today. And this is raining. This is a wet conditioned circuit. Amazing to see that Jake Dixon was the only man who crashed out. Unbelievable. MotoGP stewards back at it. Ethan Guevara getting a slap on the wrists. Must have also exceeded track limits one too many times. Now leaning into the right-hander then. 7 seconds ahead. It has been a terrific, terrific performance. 1 more lap to go. Tackle this corner just once more after this conclusion. Let's see if we can end on a good lap. You don't need to set a fastest lap, but I would like to end on a high, as we now bring our advantage to 8.5 seconds ahead of Fermin Aldeguer. The man who is MotoGP bound in real life next season 8.5 seconds behind them. Rookie in first. You might as well call me the British Pedro Acosta, because we're going to win here again in our rookie season. Acosta might not have done it for Moto 2 due to injury, but I do believe we can go one better. Replicate what he did in Moto 3, do one better in Moto 2, and join MotoGP with a flash and a flurry of excellent results. I'm really excited for MotoGP. My only downfall is when we do move up to MotoGP, the Moto 3, Moto 2 classes kind of get forgotten about, and they become a bit of a relic on the channel. But if you guys want to see more Moto 3 and Moto 2 races after this championship has concluded, this career mode, then let me know in the comment section down below. I always read the comments. I always try to respond as much as I can. So yeah, if you comment in there, I will see it. I've got a list of riders I need to record videos for. Alex Rins, I've done the Fabio one. Taka Nakagami popped up quite a few times, which is nice to see. Marc Marquez always pops up as well. And I think there's a few more. I've got a list on Notepad on PC, so I will get through those. But if you have any more suggestions, let me know in the comment section. I'll be sure to get those videos done. But we are now just 4 corners away. 2 corners away. What am I on about? Here it is. Ferrari corner on the final lap then. 1 more corner to go for our 3rd Moto 2 race victory. 8.5 seconds clear from the competition and 50 plus seconds clear from Dennis Onchu. Ladies and gentlemen, a 3-time winner in Moto 2, and unfortunately I couldn't get the wheelie up. I really tried, but it just didn't want to work. So there you are then, guys. Confirmation on your screen right now. Victory by 7 seconds ahead of Fermin Aldeguer, and Celestino Vietti occupies 3rd place. No achievement this time because we already won in Jerez in the past, but I can guarantee a screenshot for the DrAce archives for the future. Let's take a look at the championship standings. I do believe our championship advantage has gone up to around 15 points, but let's find out. Gap is indeed 16 points, so I was 1 point off, but 16 points clear from Celestino and 26 clear from Fermin Aldeguer. Joe Roberts going backwards, he's now 27 points behind. So championship is looking quite good so far, but I'm hoping when we come back for Le Mans, there's more action for us to fight with. And look at that, for the first time, Teams Championship as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.